Hey, Jack! Are you there? Where are you right now?
What is it, Sydney?
Look, if you're out trying to find a job, that's fine. But if you're just messing around, then you're going to be in serious trouble.
I've told you countless times already, though I don't know if you're even bothering to try to listen. I have a job. I'm not wasting my life away unemployed. Today I headed out in order to talk with the client directly. This isn't even the first time I've done this. How are you still under this misconception?
Misconception? Yeah, right. You keep trying to tell me you're someone who works from home, right? Are you sure you're not just trying to use that as an excuse to not go job hunting after having graduated a while ago?
I am also doing work at home, yes, but I only consider that a side job, nothing more.
Huh? A side job? You would have to have a main job of some kind to have a side job, wouldn't you?
Not necessarily. When it comes to the bulk of my income, I'm pretty sure Tom already explained it to you, didn't he? You understand how investment income works, right?
Oh, and here we go with this again. That's exactly the kind of stuff I'm talking about. You're just assuming that your investments will pay enough in an attempt to justify not having a real job. The world isn't that simple. You can't expect those investments to give you everything you need.
I mean, it's not like I'm relying that much on that income anyway. That's why I'm doing this other job to begin with, so I can leave the investments alone. The longer I leave them, the more valuable they get. Also, I'm not unemployed, like I already told you.
Oh, come on! I'm not going to let you just railroad this conversation your way.
The only one railroading things is you with your abject refusal to listen to reason.
Tom is just totally different from you. I guess he just felt like he had to treat you nicely as the big brother.
Okay, so you're just ignoring everything I'm saying now?
But as a result, you just seem completely spoiled. And why should I pay attention to someone who has no clue how the world works? I guess I'm the one who has to deal with raking you over the coals so you don't end up a totally worthless person.
I think it would be a lot better if you just stayed out of it, to be honest.
Excuse me?
Look, you haven't made the slightest effort to actually understand what I'm telling you. Everything I say to you goes in one ear and out the other. In fact, I would go so far as to guess that you've listened to what Tom, Mom, and Dad have told you, and just chose to twist their words to match whatever interpretation you wanted to take from them. If you keep blundering forward without thinking everything through, you might be in for some serious trouble in the future. I'd suggest you take a page out of Tom's book and try to pump the brakes a bit before you go charging off doing something reckless that you'll regret later. I'd highly recommend that you don't try to mess with things that you don't understand, and just leave things be until he comes back home from overseas. We're already living just fine together in this duplex. There's no need to rock the boat unnecessarily.
Hey, what are you trying to say? Do you really think you can talk like you have some level of influence around here? Are you forgetting who's the one who's even being kind enough to let a jobless guy like you stick around here? As your brother's wife, I am merely tolerating your presence as you continue to just sit here doing nothing.
So, about that.
What?
That last statement of yours just proved that you don't understand a thing about our situation here.
Excuse me?
If I remember correctly, you're the one who used Tom's overseas business posting as an excuse to start living in my half of the house, right? And this is despite the fact that you already were doing just fine in your half. This is a duplex. They're separate for a reason.
Huh? I have no idea what you're talking about. I used his trip as a reason to live here? What are you trying to say?
All I said was the truth. Nothing more. But for you to look down on me like I'm some leech and just decide for yourself that I have no job? I don't understand how you can even believe this nonsense you're spouting. So please, just drop the issue at least until Tom returns home.
What's with your tone? I don't like the arrogance I'm sensing in it. Well, whatever. Regardless of what's going on, Tom's return home will be the most ideal timing for us to finally decide who's right and wrong. It's, what, 3 months until he's back home? Once he gets back, we'll see for sure who's in the wrong here. Until then, I suggest you get ready to be kicked out of the house, okay?
Yeah, right. Hey, Sydney. I just took a look at my room and... what's going on? The room is completely empty. My shelves, bed, desk, clothes, chair. Everything is gone. The only thing left in the room is a small note in the middle of the floor that you wrote.
Ah, so you finally came home, huh? Honestly, for someone as lowly as you to go on a trip to Los Angeles and stay for 3 nights? Now that the time for us to settle our dispute is finally getting closer, you think it's just okay to just go do as you please?
What do you mean, settle our dispute?
Don't tell me you've forgotten. You said it yourself, remember? You said we'll settle things once Tom comes home from overseas.
Excuse me?
My parents-in-law also just happened to be out at a party with some of the neighbors, so they're not here either. So today was my chance. I thought that if I was going to make a move to bring this all to an end, I had to do it now.
Okay. Seriously now. I didn't say a thing about settling things. All I asked was for you to leave things be until he got back.
What are you talking about? That's the same thing! The timing was perfect for me to finally correct your mistaken understanding of how the world works, and in the clearest way possible.
I don't even know how I can approach that convoluted mess of logic. Regardless, Tom comes home from overseas tomorrow, doesn't he? So, why did you feel like you had to start doing things today? Again, I asked you to hold off until he comes back. Not until a day before he comes back. Not until a few hours before he arrives. I asked you specifically to wait until he returns.
Today, tomorrow, what difference does one day make? I mean, no matter how you look at it, all you're waiting for is to be kicked out of the house in the end anyway.
And I've told you that that's only your complete misunderstanding of the situation. I have no clue why you just can't seem to understand what's going on.
What's this now? What am I supposedly misunderstanding?
For the past 3 months, I have tried to break down everything so I could explain it to you in as many different ways as possible. But you just outright refused to listen, and instead did little more than hysterically throw verbal abuse at me day in and day out.
Well, of course I didn't listen to you. What reason would I have to believe some naive simpleton who doesn't understand how society works?
It's astonishing how accurately that describes you.
Anyway, an unemployed layabout like you is nothing but a nuisance. So, while you may have somehow managed to get a car at some point recently, if you don't hurry up and get out of this house, I won't just destroy your things. I'll also smash up that car.
Wow, it's a good thing I brought my work laptop with me on this trip. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to meet my deadline and my clients would lose their trust in me.
Right. All that work you've been doing entirely inside your own head, right? I'm telling you, that sort of stuff is bad for your head. So you need to leave the house before you start causing trouble around here with your insanity. This is my personal style of kindness through strictness. And, well, since there isn't a single thing of yours left in this house, there isn't actually any reason for you to be here anymore, is there?
Right. So it's best if I leave then?
Exactly! That's precisely what you should do.
Okay then. I'm not responsible for anything that comes of this, got it?
Sure. Enjoy all those sour grapes somewhere else. I want you out of here before the end of the day. Say, Jack? Could I talk to you for a moment?
What is it?
Look, here's the thing.
Tom just came home, didn't he?
Oh, well, yeah. I wanted to talk to you about that. Actually.
When you told him about how you kicked me out of the house, what did he say to you?
The thing is, he sorta, you know, got totally pissed off, then shouted at me at the top of his lungs that you're the one who owns this house. He also went off at me about how I was taking your part of the house when I should have been living in the one he and I already had. And that your half was meant for you and whomever you might end up getting together with.
Yep, that's about what I expected from him.
So, what was he talking about? What's going on? This house. Tom built it, didn't he? As the older brother, isn't it his? How did his younger brother, who can't even hold a job, come to be living here? And what is he talking about? Whomever you're going to be with.
Well, let's start with the obvious one. That house is in my name. I'm the one who owns it.
What? Are you kidding me?
As for everything else, ask Tom. If I try to tell you anything, you're just going to twist what I'm saying to suit whatever you want. There's no point in saying any more about this myself, after all, is there?
Say, Jack? Could I talk to you for a moment?
What is it?
Look, here's the thing.
Tom just came home, didn't he?
Oh, well, yeah. I wanted to talk to you about that. Actually.
When you told him about how you kicked me out of the house, what did he say to you?
The thing is, he sorta, you know, got totally pissed off, then shouted at me at the top of his lungs that you're the one who owns this house. He also went off at me about how I was taking your part of the house when I should have been living in the one he and I already had. And that your half was meant for you and whomever you might end up getting together with.
Yep, that's about what I expected from him.
So, what was he talking about? What's going on? This house. Tom built it, didn't he? As the older brother, isn't it his? How did his younger brother, who can't even hold a job, come to be living here? And what is he talking about? Whomever you're going to be with.
Well, let's start with the obvious one. That house is in my name. I'm the one who owns it.
What? Are you kidding me?
As for everything else, ask Tom. If I try to tell you anything, you're just going to twist what I'm saying to suit whatever you want. There's no point in saying any more about this myself, after all, is there?
Hey, Jack! You little... What did you say to Tom?
Huh? What, did Tom do something?
He said he was going to file for divorce!
Oh, he did now, did he?
Why? Why would he do this? All I did was misunderstand some things a little. That's all. Was it really so bad as to want a divorce for it?
Well, to be perfectly honest, yes. I'm not at all surprised he wants a divorce.
What? Why?
Are you really asking that? Did you already forget what you did to me?
What are you talking about?
You threw away literally everything I had in my room.
Wait, that was... Well, I admit that I was in the wrong on that one. But all of your data for your work was still fine, wasn't it? So what's the problem?
You really don't think much about what you're doing, do you? Even if we discount the furniture that you threw out that cost a lot to replace. Among the things you threw out were mementos of my late grandparents and of my late mother.
There were?
There were also antiques that my father had given me when I graduated high school, including a special fountain pen that I used every day and kept in pristine condition. And then there's the present I got from my girlfriend for my birthday, the suit I got from Tom as a graduation gift, my photo album from when I was a kid, my own personal mementos from when I was growing up. All of it. You threw away all of it because you just wanted to kick me out of my own house, a fact you refused to listen to me explain. Because of your childish inability to listen to a truth that didn't agree with you, you threw everything away I ever had to remember my family or my childhood by.
I don't know what I can even say to that.
That's why I asked Tom. It doesn't matter if I received all the money in the world as compensation. All of the things that were thrown out will never come back. So, I asked my brother to cut off the root cause of this whole problem. I asked him to divorce you.
What?
Of course, I knew that he had no obligation to agree to my request. That all depended on how he felt about everything. But it seems that he chose to do what I asked of him this time, doesn't it?
Why? Why would you ask him to do something like that?
Because your very existence causes me emotional trauma.
Huh?
I can't comprehend how a monster like you can even exist. To think that you could be so heartless as to happily throw out every single thing that had sentimental value to someone else. And all because you didn't even have the basic decency to actually listen to what someone else had to say. Who knows what you could do to Tom in the future if you treat his brother like this? I remember how you threatened to destroy my car. What if one day you got angry at him and decided to destroy his?
What are you saying? Tom is my husband. Why would I ever do something like that?
Well, when you suddenly decide to throw out someone's things with zero regard for how much value they hold, I'm pretty sure we can't really consider any possibility out of the question with you.
But he's my husband! It's different! Why is he so quick to take your side?
Tom and I may not be connected by blood, but we still get along really well. Perhaps more than many actual brothers.
Okay, so the two of you have a good relationship. But I have a good relationship with him too. Why would he have married me otherwise?
Well, he understood quite well the amount of pain and sadness felt at seeing all of my memories callously thrown away. As you might expect, that made him unfathomably angry. I could almost feel his heart burning with anger. It sounds like that very day he decided he was going to divorce you.
Couldn't you at least wait a little bit?
No. After what you've done, I'm surprised you think you can even ask for anything at all at this point. I warned you 3 months ago. I told you to hold off on acting recklessly, but just like always, you didn't listen to me. You reap what you sow. Anyway, I've told you everything I need to now. Can you just hurry up and get divorced and get out of this house? Forever.
What? No, wait, please.
Oh, and I'm going to block you, in the hope that you never taint my life with your presence ever again. And so, Tom and Sydney divorced, and Sydney left to go live out in the country somewhere. Though, on Tom's recommendation, I decided to file a lawsuit against Sydney, seeking damages for her destruction of my precious belongings. The total amount came to about $50,000. Though, in a rather unsurprising development, Sydney was someone who was completely irresponsible with her money and had no savings to speak of. Apparently, one of her main aims when marrying Tom was to get her hands on his money. Unable to pay a cent of the damages and grumbling about being ripped off, Sydney found herself at the mercy of her now furious parents. They paid the damages and forced Sydney to pay them back the money through her own work. Now she's working day and night to pay off her colossal debt. As for me, after this sort of traumatic event happened in this house, I decided to sell it. I couldn't bear to live in it any longer. Now I'm looking into renovating another house in the next town over, and I've got my parents, Tom, and my soon-to-be wife in on the planning. Now we're happily talking about this exciting new project and where it will take our lives next.
Hey, what time are you coming home?
Hey, Carl. I'll be back at my usual time, so it'll be pretty soon. Why do you ask? Is everything okay?
I see. Okay, my mommy made its food, so I was just wondering. But there isn't any left for you. So you'll just have to find something to eat on your own.
What? Are you serious? Again? Your mom is coming again?
Hey, what do you mean again? What's the problem? Mom can't come over? Knock it off. Don't get in the way of us being one big happy family.
One big happy family? But that is still my house. I'm so tired today. I just simply wanted to go home, cook something, and just go to bed.
Geez, you don't have to say something so selfish like that.
What? What do you mean selfish? I think you're the one being selfish, Carl. Why in the world is your mom coming over for the 4th time this week anyway? She's been around since last weekend all the way up until this weekend, hasn't she?
Yeah, so what? It's the best.
I work full time and there are times where I am so busy. All I want to do is go home and relax after such a stressful day. The least I want is not to be bothered on the weekend. That isn't too much to ask for.
What are you talking about? Mommy is already 60 years old. I know she may not look that old, but she is still 60.
Well, actually, she does look 60 if you ask me.
What do you mean by that? Anyway, I just want to live together with my mom. But you are being so selfish and refuse to live together with us. That's why I will never tell my mom to stop coming over. I won't let you tell her that either.
Why in the world are you getting so carried away? Your mom coming to visit is totally fine. I have no problem with that. But when she comes on weekdays, I can't even cook anything. And when I'm not off on the weekends, there are always complaints because I can't even clean the house or do any other chores. I have no time for myself. I can't even catch my breath. I just need some time sometimes.
Well, that is the job of a housewife. That is what you should be doing. Don't act like a spoiled brat. If you don't have time to cook dinner during the week, that is no one else's fault but your own. Don't you understand my mommy is coming over to try and help you? You need it.
No, that's not it. You just want her here so she can do your chores, isn't that right? Right now you work as a temp and have to go into the office 3 to 4 times a week. You work less hours than I do right now. If you can do the chores, shouldn't you just do them yourself? You have the time.
You should just be a housewife. You shouldn't have that frame of mind. Those are actually Mommy's words. She's the one who said that. She also said you're ugly and that you don't even clean the house. You don't contribute anything. You don't balance out all the great things I do.
What? You can't possibly mean that.
That is why you should be happy to be married to someone as great as me. You should be grateful that I put up with you.
Look, I don't know why you're talking to me right now about all of this, but it doesn't matter right now. Seriously, let me at least rest just this weekend. I was patient and put up with all the nonsense during the week. I at least deserve a peaceful weekend.
You know I'm only still married to you because you bring home a decent income. But honestly, if you were a housewife, you would really be horrible. It's the worst. You could learn a thing or two from Mom, don't you think? You really need to learn to treat your husband with respect.
What? Why are you saying all of these things? I honestly have no idea what you are trying to say. Talking to you right now is just a waste of time. I'll talk to you later. It's fine. I'll just come home now and make a decent meal. So, you finally decided. I know this was tough on you, and you had a hard time deciding. But finally, I can teach you how to have the right frame of mind and attitude as a proper housewife. What? What in the world are you talking about? Huh? Wait, what are you talking about? I heard that you finally decided you wanted all of us to live together. What? Us living together? What in God's name are you talking about? This is the first I'm hearing about us living together. What? Are you serious? I guess we aren't on the same page then, are we? What? Carl said that you finally decided that we should all live together. So, I thought you finally came to your senses and agreed with us living together. So, you honestly aren't planning on living together with us? You being alone and by yourself is so pointless. It would be so much better with the three of us together. It looks like you and Carl are just talking amongst yourselves and not even including me. But even if that was the case, this is something Carl should have spoken to me about. I am his wife? I haven't heard anything about this, so I'm going to ask Carl myself just what exactly is going on. I think it's pointless for you to ask him, but go ahead. And why do you say that? Because my Carl would never lie to his mother. There is no way. He said he's preparing for us to live together. He's doing everything for me. There's no way he'd lie to me about that. That's why if you aren't going to be living with us, my Carl will have to end his relationship with you. Well, is that so? You're right. He wouldn't lie to you, not your Carl. Well, do you know about Carl's job right now? Absolutely. Of course I do. I am his mother. What are you talking about? I know everything about him. Obviously, I would know something as important as his job. He's been working for a major corporation and worked his way up to a managerial position. That's why he's able to come home earlier than you every day. But you're nothing like him. You have no skill and work so slowly you have to work until late. Are you sure about that? So that's the story Carl decided on telling you? Listen, Carl is my dear son. I know him better than anyone. I understand. Well, I'm going to just talk to Carl myself and get to the bottom of this. Thank you for reaching out to me. Carl, where are you right now? Why aren't you at home?
Huh? You mean you're home right now? Sorry, I'm surprised. It's not too common that you're home like this.
I had an awful feeling in the pit of my stomach, so I decided to come home. Where is my bank book?
Wow, that's wild. What, do you have a sixth sense or something?
Enough. Answer my questions. Where are you right now, and where is my bank book?
I just bought a high-rise apartment building with it.
Carl, what are you talking about? You just took it upon yourself to take my money without me knowing?
Yeah, and so what if I did? I'm gonna live with my mommy.
What? That money was my life savings. I worked my fingers to the bone for 10 years for that. And you think you can just use it however you please?
Yep, that's right. I absolutely can. I've been looking for quite a while and finally I found it. I racked my brain wondering where you were hiding it. I knew you were hiding money, but to hide such a large amount? I was impressed. So I took it from my mommy. I decided to use it and purchase a huge apartment for her.
What do you mean? That is my money. Don't you think you're getting a little carried away just doing anything you want with it? It's mine.
No, it doesn't matter anyway. You already left anyway.
What do you mean by that?
You have no use for the money. The least you can do is just give it to me. I have no more use for you, and now I'm gonna live with my mom in the apartment that I bought with all of your savings.
You are the worst. You took my money and have no use for me anymore? So are you just trying to drive me away?
Yep, I guess that's exactly what I'm saying. You have nothing to offer. Isn't just being at home alone such a waste?
Fine. You'll get exactly what you ask for. You can just leave this house. And you know what? Let's get a divorce. How does that sound?
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Haven't you been listening to what I said? I used your life savings to buy an apartment to live with my mom together. I have no more use for you at all. Let's hurry up and just get a divorce already.
Understood and agreed. Goodbye, Carl.
Goodbye, you pig.
Please don't ever think about contacting me again. And I'm changing the locks to this house, so don't even think about coming back. So after moving, I hope you have fun living with your mommy, who you love oh so much.
Sue, can you talk right now? I want to call you.
Absolutely not. I don't feel like talking to you. I have nothing to say to you. Why do you want to call me anyway? Have you sent the divorce papers yet? What's taking so long? Hurry up and send them to me already.
Forget about the divorce papers. I wanted to ask you about my money.
Your money? What do you mean by your money?
You know what I mean. Why can't I use the bank book anymore? Why can't I withdraw money anymore? I can't pay rent for the apartment.
So, that's not my problem. I don't know anything about your money. Not like you have any anyway.
But I still had the bank book. There should still have been money in the account. But when I went to do the bookkeeping, there was no money left. Why is that? What happened? Don't you think that's a little weird?
Do I think it's weird? You just did whatever you wanted and stole my bank book after all. That right there is a crime, isn't it? You're lucky I don't report you for that. Anyway, I was able to do my banking online. I transferred all my money into another account. Every dollar.
What, you transferred the money? All of it?
Yep, sure did. Thank goodness I was able to transfer it all over before you were able to use any of it. A sleazy mama's boy like you being able to use my hard-earned money? Just the mere thought of that made me sick to my stomach.
Wait a second. I didn't hear anything about that. You didn't tell me anything. So I can't use any of the money anymore? Is that what you're telling me? The bank book is mine, isn't it?
What are you saying? Have you gone mad? That bank book is mine and you know it. I knew you'd just do whatever you wanted with my money and try using it, so I moved everything over to a separate bank account. You were babbling on and on about how you bought a huge apartment, but it looks like the payment hadn't gone through yet. Thank goodness.
No, that can't be right. I checked the bank book. The money still is in your account. All I needed was a stamp which I was going to get later on. I just borrowed the money from the down payment for the apartment.
Oh, you just borrowed it.
After I withdrew the money, I thought it wouldn't be a problem if I just returned it back. I don't understand. What is the problem?
I explained it to you before, didn't I? How dumb do you think I am? I knew you stole my bank book. Because of that, I transferred the money into a different account. Since I knew the bank book couldn't be used anymore to withdraw the money, I just left it in a place where even you would find it. It's funny you borrowed money for the apartment, and you think you'll be able to pay it back? Hilarious! Don't worry. Since you desperately want to be with your mother, I'm sure you can get used to living somewhere else with her.
What? You mean you set me up? You are the worst.
What? Set you up? Where did that come from?
You knew I would be embarrassed at the bank. It was your plan all along to ruin my reputation. You went as far as to leave the bank book out in plain sight, knowing full well I would find it. For you to go through all of that trouble just to set me up, you really are the worst.
And? What do you want me to say? I didn't plan on setting you up or anything like that at all. We're getting a divorce, right? That means I don't need to have a bank account connected with your name anymore.
But what about the money? Answer my question about the money. I have to have some money. I don't even have pocket change right now. The apartment won't give back the money I used for the down payment either. What am I supposed to do?
How should I know? It's not my problem, is it? Why did you think it was right to use my hard-earned money for the apartment anyway? You're nuts if you think there isn't anything wrong with doing something like that.
But I did it for Mommy.
That's your problem. You're a creepy little mama's boy.
What? What did you just say to me? What do you mean I'm a mama's boy? How am I a mama's boy?
You really don't see it? You're so clueless. You really are the worst. Let me tell you, it isn't normal for a man approaching 40 to refer to his own mother as mommy. Right? For your important mom, you went as far as to steal your own wife's life savings? What in the world were you thinking? Just to think, there was so many things you didn't even tell your mom.
What? What are you trying to say? I tell Mommy everything. Absolutely everything. There isn't anything she doesn't know.
Oh, is that so? What about being employed by a giant corporation? That's quite the lie you made up.
Well, there was a reason for that.
It doesn't matter what the reason was. You lied. Fact is, you're just a temp worker at a company, and you have more free time than you know what to do with. All the money you do scrape up, you blow on gambling, or you have to use my money. With my money, I thought you would be able to build some sort of a life for yourself. But why couldn't you be honest and tell your mother the truth?
You don't have to say it like that. I'm not a loser. I'm not that bad of a person.
Oh no, I actually think I painted a pretty accurate picture of who you really are. You should be able to easily see for yourself what a loser you are.
That's not true. My mommy would never say those things to me. How horrible. My mommy would accept me no matter what. She loves me unconditionally.
Well, mothers will be mothers, I guess. But it's all just obviously a bunch of lies. You forget you even fed yourself with my money. And yet all you did was look down on me and treat me like I was a slave. I am not your punching bag. Not anymore.
That isn't how I planned for things to be at all, honest.
You can enjoy your life living with your mommy just like you wanted. I don't have anything more to say to you. I have nothing more to give you. Just hurry up and get the divorce papers sent to me. Has the lawyer sent them yet?
What? What do you mean, lawyer?
That's right. I'm also demanding consolation money due to the fact that you were financially abusing me and exploiting me during our marriage. Lawyers' fees are high as it is. That's just going to increase their fee.
But what about me? What do I do about the apartment money?
I'm not giving you any more money. You can forget it. If you don't want to deal with the lawyer fees and the money for damages, then it's time to act like an adult for once and take responsibility for your own actions.
But what about the money for the apartment? What do I do? Canceling the contract will cost so much money as it is. You have to do something for me. Please, help me out. We are husband and wife, aren't we? Aren't we a happy couple?
You have no more use for me and wanted a divorce. Those were your words, weren't they? Unfortunately for you, the one who has no more use for the other is me. Do not contact me or try to see me again. I want nothing more to do with you. I am done with you and your mom. Loser mama's boy, and the same goes for your mother as well. After that, Sue completely ignored Carl. Carl wasn't about to pay the rent for his magnificent apartment. He also wasn't able to get any of the money back he used for the down payment. In tears, he tried to beg Sue to take him back and let him live in her apartment again. But unfortunately for Carl, Sue had already moved on. In the end, Carl came clean and told his mother about everything. He fell to his knees and begged for his mom to loan him money. His mother, of course, understood and accepted Carl, however, she was broke too. Penniless and broke, Carl and his mom were completely burdened with the money they borrowed. With no options, they both worked together from sunup to sundown. They're currently living together in a beat-up, run-down apartment.